What is going on, people from the tube? Welcome back to another bunch of things. Alright, we're heading to the desert. We're gonna get this patterning video going on and find out which of those shells are gonna be the shells that I'm gonna be using for next season. So let's go. I'm driving up. It's been really windy and raining a lot in California, and we had snow and all kinds of stuff. So today is the only day that seems that things are coming down. I was going to do this yesterday, but the rain and the wind gusts were extremely high, and that would have not worked for a patterning video. So we're taking a shot. We're going to do it today. It's sunny, there's no rain, wind is okay. But the reason why I didn't leave super early is because there's going to be a window where this wind is going to calm down. And that's what I'm trying to get. It's just the least amount of wind so we can get this pattern video with the least amount of interference. So let's go. Alrighty, so we made it. Alrighty, so I just came down with a brutal headache. I've been battling this headache a few days now. Weather change, barometric pressure, all kinds of stuff that are weird is what's making this happen. So, but I set up the best I could, taking in consideration that this headache is not leaving me alone. So I'm gonna show you guys how everything is gonna look, and there it is, 40 yards. Cool. So what I'm gonna end up doing is I'm at the center on the cardboard. I don't have that much paper, so I gotta be conservative. So what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna kind of mark where my circle come from, which is already in the cardboard. He stands out of the cardboard, so that's gonna be kind of tricky there. There it goes. So they give you a good perspective of what's gonna happen. So I'm gonna be aiming right here, floating the bird with the Benelli right in the middle of the target. Middle of the target is right here, but I'm gonna aim right here, floating the bird. As you guys know, I have a new shotgun, the Benelli Super Black Eagle 3. That's what we patterning today. So I already did a video patterning that shotgun with Kent's fast steels number 3s, 3-inch in this same spot. And initially the best results that I had was with the Carlson's Cremator long range. That was the best results I had. Now after tweaking some things here and there, we end up doing also a pattern with the mid-range. The mid-range was extremely open and patchy. They had holes everywhere. So once the season started, the major problem that I had was that I was missing birds. And I was missing birds because I wasn't floating the bird. Two, the choke tube was too close. So when I had birds close to me, I was missing them. I opened the pattern with the mid-range, and it got better, but I was still missing. Then I figured out the whole floating the bird situation. That got better, but I still felt that I was shooting high. What ended up happening was that I'd shimmed the shotgun with the kit that comes with the Benelli. Problem solved. The other problem that we encounter, and that I encounter all the seasons, I've been shooting Kent's fast steels for 4 years exclusively. I'm not a sponsor or anything like that. It's just the shell that was easy to find and it was somewhat affordable. The problem that I had with that is that the crippling of birds was tremendous. I had birds that should have not been crippled at all, not even close, but it happened. They got crippled. So I made the decision that for next season I'm gonna switch metals. So I want to shoot bismuth. Reason being is because tungsten is super expensive. So the season that just ended was the first season that I started messing around with other shells. So I decided to give a try to what is one affordable. I know that there's way more bismuth than the selection that I have right now, but their pricing is crazy. And once again, I don't have any sponsorship with anybody. I pay for my own shells and everything. So what we're gonna end up shooting, we're gonna be shooting Boss. These are 3-inch number 3 and number 5 stack copper plated Boss bismuth. That's one. And the other one, that it was a shell that I actually used on the season, and I like it, but I want to see how it looks in paper because I've never seen it in paper, is the Heavy Shot Heavy Metal number 3 3-inch. So I'm gonna try these two, and we're gonna compare those to the regular cans that I used all 4 seasons. With steel, they tell you to open up your pattern on your choke tube, to open it up a little, not to constrict it too much because it gets way too centralized. The opposite happens with bismuth. They ask you to tight your constriction just to get a really nice, beautiful pattern. So what we're gonna do is that we're gonna shoot one shell of the Boss and one shell of the heavy metals with the mid-range, Carlson mid-range ported cremator. Then we're gonna do the same thing, but with the long range. And we're gonna compare that against the fast steel with full range and mid-range as well, to see how that looks in paper. Whatever does the best results here is gonna be the shell that I'm gonna use next year for the entire season. So let's get at it. All right, I got my glasses on, my ear protection, and we are gonna hit this guy. We're gonna start with the heavy metal 3-inch number 3. I hope I don't hit my camera though. Carlson cremator ported mid-range. All right, let's see. Oh God, all right. So that's about 60-40 actually. Really super open pattern. I have quite a few out of the paper. I'm sorry guys, the headache is killing me. So I'm gonna reset the papers. Oh wow, that's cool. So hard. That was pretty neat. So I'm gonna reset my papers. All right, let's go to the Boss. Boss 3-inch 3 and 5 stack. All right. Ooh, I already can see it. Oh, that's looking good. Oh yeah, guys. Way better. Way better. I like that pattern way better. Look at this thing. With the mid-range, they're both super open and patchy at a 40 yards. So I'm gonna reset everything and we're gonna do it again, but with the full choke. This is the long range or the full choke. So we're gonna go with the heavy metal, full choke, Carlson cremator, ported. That's it. It's not bad, but it's super patchy. Let's take a look at this. All right. Look at this. All right. Well, super patchy. Big patches with the full constriction. All right, that's the heavy metal. It's a lot of patches. He's a dead dog, but patches right here, right here, right here. A lot of holes where there's no pellets. I don't know if I like that. So I'm gonna reset and do the boss 3 and 5 stack, Carlson cremator, long range. But this is a good dog. It's better though. It's better than the heavy metal for sure. Way better pattern, but still patchy. I'm gonna reset. We're gonna put steel in one of these guys so you guys can see what's happening. Steel for this pattern right now, steel looks way better in paper, at least when I did the pattern, than what these guys look like. But we're about to figure it out. A Kent fast steel. Oops. Yeah, that looks great. That's a great pattern. But there's no penetration powder. No penetration powder. There's no penetration powder. I'm gonna shoot another boss and another heavy metal, and we're only gonna look what's in the bird. We're not gonna look at the paper. I'm gonna put another one of mid-range on each of them, and I'll make my decision for what I'm seeing. I don't count pellets. I don't really need to know how many pellets are in each section. I just need to see how this looks at 40 yards in the bird. All right, let's hit it with one more heavy metal. All right, this is the mid-range heavy metal. That's tight. It's a tight pattern. That's a dead dog. But the patches, man. The amount of patches is crazy. And there's not that much wind, guys. Alright, let's put one more and we're gonna do the boss. One more mid-range boss and we'll make our decision. Yeah, I got my decision already. Yeah, that's a dead dog, dude. Oh yeah. Nothing to talk about. All right, guys. I made my decision. Boss is gonna be the shell that I'm gonna be using for dog hunting next season. I'll explain why. So the major problem, the reason why I'm switching shells is penetration power. It's penetration power. Biggest deal, penetration power. With the steel, I'm crippling birds that are close, that they should just drop dead, but unfortunately they're getting crippled. So I decided that it's time for me to get something that has more penetration power. Steel is about 7.2 cubic grams of penetration power. That's per centimeter. Bismuth is 9.6. Meaning you have way more energy to penetrate your target, in this case your dogs. Bismuth shells, copper coating. Why do they use the copper coating? Copper coating is to avoid fragmentation. Even that you have more energy to do penetration with the boss, with bismuth versus steel, bismuth have the tendency to fragment, to break, rather than steel doesn't do that, but bismuth does. So what Boss did was coat the pellet with copper to keep the integrity of the pellet. Now, when I was picking up, I found some fragmented. See this. There we go. Those are fragments of Boss. They got fragmented, which happens with every bismuth. So if that is fragmented that way and it's copper, you can kind of imagine what happens with the ones that are not coated with anything. They fragment quite more. So that give us the idea of what's gonna happen. So off camera, I put some more shells on the paper, adjusting how much of the floating I was doing. You guys gotta remember, I started floating the bird in the season. I never put shells on paper floating the bird. So I started floating the bird in the season, and then I shimmed the shotgun and I kept floating the birds. Things got better. I started getting my birds down as I would expect with a new shotgun, not in the same numbers that I would with my other shotgun, but close enough. As I mentioned before, I don't count pellets. There's tons of people that do counting the pellets, so you need to find out about that. You can go and watch their videos. I don't count pellets. I'm more worried about what the pattern is doing and within the bird and the surrounding area. I don't need the 30-inch circle. It's just the surrounding area. I do the 30-inch circle just so I can gauge how many flyers I have per shell. So off camera, I put a couple more shots, and I adjusted my floating the bird. I was floating that a little bit too low. So what was happening is that most of my shot was going down. Once I adjusted the amount of floating that I'm doing, now it's a little closer. That's a dead dog. That's a dead dog. That's a nice shell. I don't have to worry about penetration power because I know that is that it has more penetration power than steel. So there's no need for me to do a penetration test. One, I don't have ballistic gel, and two, there's no point. I needed to know what it's doing on the paper so I know exactly what to expect on the real life scenarios. So there you have it. We have a winner. Buzz is gonna be the shell that I'm gonna be using next season on totality. I'm gonna buy bulk, and that's what we're gonna use. Kristen and I, we're gonna be using Buzz and see what happens. I'm gonna be hunting in Texas, so that is, I don't know what we're gonna find, what's gonna happen with that. If the penetration power is there, in theory, I should use less shells and less crippling. I have a feeling that we're gonna be just fine, so we got a winner. Buzz is gonna be the shell. Mid-range and long range, depending on what's happening, is gonna be the shock tubes, and the rest is history. There you have it. Benelli Super Black Eagle 3 pattern test with heavy metals and the Buzz shell. I like the pattern, how it looks in the paper better. I learned a new thing, which is my level of floating the bird needs to be shorter. I don't need to float it as heavily as I've been doing. So I gotta cut some of that, and we have a beautiful, beautiful pattern that hopefully will carry us over to the next season. And if that works and put the seasons in a better standing and I don't have to be chasing too many cripples, then that's gonna be my shell, guys. So thank you so very much for watching. Like, share, subscribe, click your notification bell so you can be notified every time that I upload a new video. I'm gonna grab my headache back home, take some medication because I have to go to work. Thank you so very much. Thank you so very much for everybody that has subscribed. We are over 300 now. That makes me extremely happy. Thank you, thank you, thank you so very much for subscribing and watching all the content and all the craziness. And fishing videos are coming. We're almost there. So thank you so very much, and I will see you in the next one. Pancho out.